Hey everyone! Thank you so much for joining me for this brief overview of a study that I'm super passionate about. My name is Elana and I'm going to be talking about a research study using relational density theory as an extension of relational frame theory to assess bias and prejudice using arbitraliens, or my arbitrary aliens. The research study explored how self-organization of arbitrary stimuli, pre-existing relational frames, and learning history may attribute to this bias formation. So for this study, 35 college student participants were split into two groups, as you can see in the diagram here, 18 in group 1 and 17 in group 2. Each group was trained using a relational training video with a fun narrative about how the planet is in this big divide for survival, and taught that one arbitralian, again my arbitrary aliens, was good and then the other was bad. Each arbitralian had 3 unique features, like a snake-like body or a body with claws, a circle or square head, and a spiral or a horn. So following the relational training video, the participants completed a 20 by 20 or 400 pairwise combination multidimensional scaling procedure, where 6 novel variations using the same physical features of arbitraliens were introduced, along with six negative stereotyping adjectives and 6 positive stereotyping adjectives, Participants scaled this on a 1 unrelated to 10 most related scale. Figure 1 represents the geometric space of group 1's responding, where the participants were directly trained to have positive bias toward the arbitralian with a round head, a spiral, and a snake body, which you can see here have migrated to the right of the geospace, with all of the positive stimuli like honest, freedom, safe, and good. And then the directly trained negative bias toward the arbitralian with a square head, a horn, and claws, which migrates to the negative stereotyping stimuli, like death, disaster, horrible, and bad on the left of the screen. Even the novel arbitraliens that were not directly trained begin to migrate closer to the cluster of stimuli that share similar physical features. Figure 3 shows the flipped arbitraliens in terms of good and bad based on their relational training for group 2. Figure 2 and 4 are the Shepherd diagram to test for goodness of fit, as well as the stress test. The stress value is utilized to determine the stability of a given system and ranges between 0 and 1, so the lower the stress score, the more adequately stable the model is. The stress score for group 1 was 0.039, and group 2 stress score was 0.045, both considered low and adequately stable. Results from this analysis are the beginning stages of translational work utilizing relational density theory and may provide potential for understanding the deeply rooted and highly held beliefs, attitudes, and associations of bias formation. The visual analysis of the geospace is based on the groups responding and may hold significant value in that it represents group responding to arbitraliens that hold no real value in society, as they are arbitrary, like everything else is. The avoid cluster seeming to be much larger. This is called volume. And according to Belisle and Dixon 2020, volume is held constant, but relational density is higher. The relational classes themselves may be more resistant to change. So this may be due to many factors and obviously should be considered at a deeper level of analysis. So like the social narrative found in critical theories, for example, this assumes that members that associate within a specific relational class and hold formal similarities to members of that group are also subject to bias and discrimination. This may become harmful when members of the society begin to engage in biased relational responding towards other members of a group along these constructed dimensions. This may also be present in the rules established within society that are socially constructed and led to common stereotypes and discrimination towards marginalized groups. So future research can use a relational density theory as a visual analysis in combination with intervention, perhaps acceptance and commitment therapy, to begin understanding why these biased and prejudiced frames exist and begin to disrupt them. So thank you so much for joining me. If you have any questions or comments, I'll be monitoring the chat, and I'm happy to chat with each of you about what you're seeing here. Thank you so much.